Bad news. It looks like we have been delayed again.
Only those yes ticketed for the 4:50, 5:50, and 5:45 trains will begin boarding in just a moment.
I'm taking a trip with the first privately owned train company to operate in the United States in over 100 years. This is BRIGHTLINE, and today I'm going to document my experience as I travel from Orlando, Florida to Miami, Florida. Now, once we get inside the train station, I will of course show you around, we'll go over the pricing, as well as any other additional interesting information you may want to know about. However, before we do, just to give you a brief overview or backstory of BRIGHTLINE, the company initially launched back in 2018. Back then it was offering service to West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. In 2022, they expanded to Aventura, Florida, as well as Boca Raton. Just a couple months ago, they started offering service out of Orlando to South Florida, with plans to extend to Tampa in the not so distant future. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, because that's my hometown. Also, one more thing that I have to make very clear about BRIGHTLINE is that their intention is not to create an expedited or faster route from Orlando to Miami or South Florida, but more of a convenient commute over to that particular area. If you were to take your car, you'd probably spend maybe only an extra 20 minutes or so commuting, give or take, to get over to that particular area from Orlando. If you were to fly, it'd obviously be a lot faster, about an hour just to get from Orlando to Miami. However, you'd have to deal with the inconvenience of airport security, TSA, and the flights will cost you, give or take, about $100 each way getting back and forth. So for this trip, I did purchase two separate tickets, one first or premium economy ticket for my trip to Miami from Orlando at $100. For my ride back to Orlando, I bought an economy or smart ticket at $40. The only difference I saw between the two seats is that in premium, you get a larger seat and complimentary food and drinks, whereas you have to pay in economy. The prices do vary greatly, costing anywhere between $40 to $260, depending on the day and time you decide to ride, as well as if you want premium or a smart seat. Also, kids do ride free with most smart options. Once you enter the terminal, you do have the option to check in one bag free of charge, or you can take it with you on board. You can also purchase tickets at the terminal if you didn't do so online. To access the waiting area, you just scan your ticket and go through a quick security check, and in case you're wondering, it is quicker than TSA. Once inside, you can purchase snacks as well as merch, and if you want to drink, there is the Mary Mary Bar. There are two lounges available, the economy or smart lounge, and I have to be honest with you, when it comes to the smart lounge, there's not a lot going on over there, and if it's a busy day, you probably will not have anywhere to sit. There is also a first class or premium lounge for those sitting in the premium seats on board the train. There you will find all kinds of drinks, snacks, and guaranteed seating. You'll be called to board the train about 10 minutes before it departs. You get to it by going down the escalator or taking the elevator. Well, the time has come. Time to board. I will be taking the bright orange train to Miami. Every train has its own color. As far as the seating arrangement, I will be in premium seat 13C, which is a window seat. The cart itself has a 2-3 configuration, with some of the seats in the cart facing each other for those that are traveling with family or friends. For my seat, I had overhead storage, plenty of leg room. Do keep in mind, I'm only 5'6.5". However, I imagine somebody taller would still be comfortable. I also had two tray tables, one small and one large. I also had two electric sockets, two overhead lights, and a menu in the seat basket directly in front of me for complimentary food and drinks, which does include complimentary alcohol. Oh yeah, the seat also reclines as well. This isn't a Spirit Airlines flight. Something that some may find disappointing is that the BRIGHTLINE covered wrap does cover the window, so during your train ride, unfortunately, the scenic view may not be as nice as you wanted it to be, but it's all good. Once we started heading to Miami, I did walk around and do a little exploring. You can bounce around from cart to cart. All of the doors are automatic, which gives off a very technologically advanced, futuristic feel. There is a waiting area by the bathroom as well, which is a good place for a phone call if you have one, so you don't disturb the other passengers. The bathroom itself is very clean and well taken care of, and spacious as well. When I got back to my seat, I was given a BRIGHTLINE cold towel to wipe my hands and prepare for my snacks. The snack options do vary from day to day as well as the time of day, but they do have a good variety of options. I could also have as much alcohol as I wanted because I was in premium. However, I decided to opt out for this ride. The ride over to Miami overall was extremely smooth. We had 3 quick 5-minute stops in West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Ventura, Florida. We've officially made it to Miami. I gotta admit, that was a smooth ride. I do like to fly, however, I will say for a short trip like that and you want to get some work done and relax, this is definitely the way to go. That was our premium or first class leg of the trip. We're going to check out the Miami station for a little bit, and then we have a return trip in economy, or as they call it here with BRIGHTLINE, the smart route back over to Orlando. The central or downtown BRIGHTLINE station was conveniently located and just as nice as the Orlando train station. It had a coffee and juice bar as you worked your way up the escalator to get into the terminal and waiting area. It was the same process as Orlando. They had the same exact area as the Mary Bar, the premium lounge, as well as the economy or smart lounge, which for this particular case, it was extremely packed and there was unfortunately nowhere to sit. Overall, everything was going great, at least until we had a little problem. Well, things were going great up until this point. Unfortunately, there have now been 2 delays. Originally, my train ride was scheduled for 4:50 p.m. It was then delayed till 5:50, and now it's been delayed until 6:30. I tried talking to some of the workers here, the employees, and they don't know what's going on. I know there was an incident yesterday. However, it's a new day. I wonder what could cause a train delay. Maybe there's traffic, but I'm stuck here until then. Bad news. It looks like we have been delayed again. 7:27 now.
Only those guests ticketed for the 450 and 545. Yeah. We repeat, only those guests ticketed for the 450, 550, and 545 trains will begin boarding in just a moment.
3 hours later, and we are finally getting ready to board. It could be worse. And we are off. Getting a little hectic down there. I definitely picked the wrong time to not go with premium. Here I am, coach 4. Seat 15D. So this is your economic or smart seating for BRIGHTLINE. As you can see, there are more seats. The seats are also a little bit smaller and skinnier. They are also a little bit harder as well, but you still get your overhead storage, you still get your outlet, and of course you get your seat to travel to whatever destination you're going to. So initially we did have assigned seating. However, because of the delays, they are now changing it to open seating. I see why everybody was trying to rush in now. Anyway, I'm good to go. I'm seated. Back to Orlando. For this trip back to Orlando, we'd be traveling on the bright green train. Remember, I said they all have different colors. There was a snack cart available, but this time we did have to pay for any snacks and drinks that we wanted on board. My smart seating had noticeably less room than my premium seating. However, it was expected and it was still overall comfortable. It would take about 3.5 hours to get to Orlando, and other than the delay, it was still a pretty good experience. Whew, couple hours late, but we made it back to Orlando. So here are my final remarks of BRIGHTLINE trains. I did enjoy the experience. I do believe that if you are living in Orlando, Miami, or any of the other connecting stations, it is a great option as opposed to, let's say, if you need to go to Miami from Orlando, taking a flight, because the prices, depending on the time of year, can vary. However, one note if I had to give it, they do need to work on the consistency. This is my first experience ever with BRIGHTLINE. There were cancellations. I had a 3-hour delay. Other people were delayed even further, and just imagine if they had flights. I would just say, as far as advice, if you guys have a flight out of Miami or Orlando, in which the destination you are traveling to, make sure you give yourself a lot of leeway, a couple hours in advance, in case something happens like a train accident or what have you. Anyway, that's what I got for my first experience traveling with BRIGHTLINE. If any of you have traveled with BRIGHTLINE at this point in time, let me know your thoughts and your experience in the comment section below. I greatly appreciate it. This won't be my last time. I'll definitely jump on BRIGHTLINE again whenever I happen to be in Orlando or the Miami area and I need to go kind of back and forth. Living in Tampa, obviously, until they build the station, and I hope they do soon, I don't have a reason at this point in time, my personal opinion, to go out of my way to jump on the trains. But of course, guys, hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Know as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.